All right guys, welcome to another video. This time we've got something different. It's not a Porsche. Lincoln Nautilus. Lincoln invited actually my boss. My boss got in an invitation to a weekend to enjoy the Lincoln Nautilus. He was not able to go, so I was able to score the weekend. So Lincoln is putting me and my wife up at a lodge in the Catskills, loaned us this Nautilus so that we could drive it throughout this entire weekend from our home up to the Catskills, and they have a whole weekend planned for us with activities to show off what the Nautilus is all about. I'm not being paid by Lincoln for this at all, but I am taking advantage of this weekend. Why not? And we get to enjoy this car. This one is quite an up-spec version, a Lincoln Nautilus Black Label Edition with the Chalet option. The Black Label is Lincoln's kind of upscale luxury version of their vehicles. And the Chalet version gives you this kind of very interesting interior. The Chalet Interior has this kind of off-white ivory leather. It's very open and airy because of that ivory color in here. It's got like a brown leather contrast on the dashboard here. It all looks very nice. And then this applique here of the, I'm presuming it's wood grain. That's kind of this kind of grayish wood grain tone, which looks really nice against this ivory and brown. All of this color combination is this upgraded Chalet interior, which looks very nice and very pleasing. I like it. One flaw of the interior design is this center console. It looks like it's from a previous generation, and it has a different design language from the rest of the interior. It looks dated. I really like the look of this grille. Lincoln has done a good job. Well, that signature grille is quite nice. The rear lighting element looks a lot like the previous generation MKX. In fact, now that I look at the whole side profile, the side profile also looks like the previous generation. It's really the front end that got the major exterior update. So this front seat is set for my comfortable seating position. I'm 6'3", and by the way, I should mention that these seats are heated and ventilated and massage front seats, and the massage function works incredibly well. With the front seat set for my comfortable position, I was able to fit behind myself when I went to the back seats and sat in the back. My knees did touch the rear of the front seats a bit. I could comfortably sit behind myself pretty well. This high-level spec has the 2.7 liter engine in it, good for 335 horsepower. It's a luxury car, not going to give you some scintillating acceleration at all. So we're going to spend the weekend with this car. So let's hit the road. We're headed to the Catskills. Come along for the ride. All right guys, we made it to Sibler's Lodge where Lincoln has us held up for the next couple of days. It's a beautiful little lodge. I'll give you a quick tour of the room. Again, all of this is being provided by Lincoln, so we really appreciate that. What a nice accommodation. And we have a great view of the ski slopes up there. We're not going to be doing any skiing today. We're really going to be focusing on the drive, but what a nice little accommodation here. All right guys. Welcome to the Lincoln Nautilus. I'm here with my wife. We enjoyed our drive up. Lincoln hosted a great dinner for us and also featured the gentleman who was doing cool pool table tricks in the Lincoln commercials. So we watched him do his thing last night.
Oh my God.
So what a wonderful evening hosted by Lincoln. You guys have seen me do videos about my Porsche, my 911, test driving a Carrera T, and I enjoy those cars. But this Lincoln Nautilus is like the opposite of that. You know, this car is all about relaxation, about serenity, about getting you there in the utmost of comfort. And I really felt that on the drive up here. It was about a 2-hour drive, hour 45 minute to 2-hour drive. And I had no desire to like mash the pedal and speed and be, you know, excited about the drive. It was more about a serene kind of environment, talking with my wife, having a good conversation with her in utmost quiet in here. Another thing too is when I first picked up the car, they delivered it to my office in Manhattan during rush hour, which is a nasty time to be driving in Manhattan. Lots of potholes, lots of traffic, but I felt isolated. This car kind of glides over potholes, and it made the commute home through that rough traffic very relaxing, as much as it can be when you're commuting in rush hour traffic, I suppose. This car has 335 horsepower and plenty of torque, but the transmission is a little sluggish, to be honest with you. When you mash the gas pedal, you know, it lazily downshifts, because that's not what this car is all about. It's about, you know, gradually getting you to where you want to be in a serene, relaxing way. Like I'm going over some very rough potholed roads right now. You kind of just glide over them, you know. And this car has 21-inch wheels. This is an upgrade, but yet the ride is incredibly, incredibly comfortable. And the design of the wheel is really elegant and fits the look of the car, I think.
Right. All of the options on this car I would have chosen if I were buying this car.
One thing that I noticed when I got into this car, this dashboard, which is very minimal, very sleek. What's your opinion about their approach here?
I loved it. I thought that it was very clean, and someone actually decided we're going to go this route instead of what everybody else is doing, because it's really classy looking. Like, for instance, the speedometer. There's just a number in the center of it. And that stood out to me from the driver's seat, that's all that's needed. And it's surrounded in this elegance, the leather and the stitching. It's just a really, really clean look.
Yeah.
Most of the cars that you get into today, people are looking for, how much can you give me for my
It's
my
almost
dollars?
like you have to have all these bells and whistles
Yes.
to justify, you know, being a luxury car,
Right,
or the price or something.
And sometimes it's about the simplicity of it all.
But it still has things like your Apple CarPlay
Yes.
and the center stack here. In fact, they made a big deal out of the Revel stereo system, and it does sound very good.
Wow,
as far as can tell.
I actually thought I was at a concert. It
Yeah.
blew me away.
So it does have all the technical bells and whistles. Like, for example, this one comes with the optional lane centering technology to, if you're on a highway, for example, doing a long trip, you activate it and it can help you stay in the middle of your lane. So it's not that this car doesn't have all the technology, it's just that the dashboard is simple and clean. The ride is smooth, you know, the seats are comfortable, and I just want to relax.
And I'm actually glad that you know the difference.
And that's okay.
That this drive, your Porsche, is about performance and being low to the ground. It's just a different, this is totally different in that it's a calming, it's a relaxing. But I think that's your frame of reference, being in the Porsche, where you hear all
Every
of the,
little thing.
Yes.
And it's a different experience. That's a positive experience for a different
Yes.
reason. You know, it's to enjoy the driving dynamics,
Right.
Of feeling the G-forces, feeling the acceleration. That's a fun experience for me. But, you know, think about it. When you're going to work every day, if you want to do a long drive, do you really want to experience all of that when you're in stop and go traffic, where you really can't take advantage of what the Porsche can do? So I find this kind of a nice alternative, for actual day-to-day use.
Yes.
The Lincoln publicity folks had a number of activities planned for the day, but my wife and I decided to do something very chill and drive from Scribner's Lodge to Hudson, New York to visit this furniture store called Finch. Once we arrived in Hudson, it enabled us to experiment with Lincoln's Park Assist feature. So let's see how this Park Assist works in the Nautilus. All right, guys, we're going to attempt to parallel park. We found kind of a big space here. All right, so we're going to give this a shot. So I think I hit this parking key, right? Space found. Please drive forward. Oh, I guess it's taking me to this ginormous space. Stop vehicle. Release steering wheel. Shift to reverse. Back up, prepare to stop. So see the steering wheel is moving on its own. This is freaky. It's doing it. It's doing it. This is pretty wild.
That is so cool.
Oh, look, the wheel is doing it. Finished. A perfect parallel park on its own. When it's doing it, you could see how it is showing you the 360-degree view from above on the screen right here, which shows how close you are to the curb. It's actually showing the sidewalk right here. It shows you a little bit of the car behind, and you can see the car behind you right here in the secondary screen. Pretty cool. We're really close to the curb, but we did not curb our wheels. So if you have a concern about that, this will solve that problem.
Really cool.
Yes, cool technology. So one of the unique features of Lincoln is selecting your gear. The way you select your gear is by pressing these buttons down the left-hand side of this console here. So that's kind of a different way of gear selecting. So when I got into this car this morning, I sat here for just a split second thinking, wait, how do I get going? And I just had to think for a second that it's up here on the dashboard.
It was kind of comical.
Because I have muscle memory that I'm supposed to reach down here for something, and it's like a muscle memory. So I think just like with anything, it's something that you would just get used to. If you like this vehicle for other reasons, this would probably become second nature after you get used to it. All right, after spending a wonderful day in Hudson, New York, we drove back down to Scribner's Lodge in Hunter, New York. We got a recommendation from the concierge about where to go to eat on our own, and we went to a place called the Deer Mountain Inn. We showed up without reservations, so the dining room was all filled up. So we simply ate at the bar, and it was still delicious food. It was so warm and cozy in there. We highly recommend it. Apparently the chef is a Michelin star rated chef, so even the bar food was delicious. And then after that, we came back to Scribner's Lodge, had a nightcap at the bar, and hit the hay because it was a full day. All right, guys, so this is the last day of our trip. It's Sunday. It's time to take the Lincoln Nautilus back down to Manhattan and return it. And we woke up to some weather. It snowed a bit up here in the Catskills. So let's see how this thing does on the ride home. with the Nautilus, and we're heading back home. And as you can see, the weather is quite nasty out. So this will be a test of the four-wheel drive system and how it behaves. So far, so good, I would say. All right, we made it to the highway now. Slogging through this terrible weather on our last day with this Lincoln, and just wanted to give some thoughts.
Police reported ahead.
All right, thank you, Waze. You know, this car has everything you really need. It's got full connectivity to your iPhone. I'm using Waze right now to get me back home. Everything's super easy to figure out. It's really nice, has a nice smooth ride, has a nice exterior design. I think the new grille, the new front end, the new Lincoln look is a big improvement over the old one. That grille looks fantastic and the front end looks great in particular. And the overall shape and silhouette of the SUV looks really nice. I guess what would some criticisms be? Well, one, I think the buttons for the gear selection is kind of different. Again, I've got used to it, but it is something that's unusual. There's this center bin right here where you put your phone, and when you open it, it's fine, but then when you close it, it's like a harsh, clicking, rough sound. It doesn't have kind of a smooth actuation. And then some of it is just, it's all of the oblong, ovoid kind of shapes, you know, aren't my taste.
My opinion of all of this is, it's what's surrounding it, and it looks really, really good up against the black and the browns. So
Yeah,
I actually
that's true.
think that it looks really classy looking.
So yeah, overall the interior looks great to me. It's a great looking interior, and I love the panoramic sunroof, which lets a lot of light in here and highlights this interior, makes it like an open, airy kind of place to be. This whole weekend, I think we both found, Darlene and I both found, that this car was a really nice companion to have on all of our road trips. We did quite a number of miles just in the matter of a day. As long as you understand that this is a car that is made for, as Lincoln says, it's a sanctuary. It's a place for you to relax and seek refuge and be in comfort. And if that's the kind of vehicle you're looking for, then this is a good choice for you. I think it's all just personal preference at this price point. You just need to see what the competitors look like and see if they fit. Just what kind of personality do you want in your drive? Do you want a relaxed kind of environment, or do you want something sporty like a Porsche Macan, which is a little bit edgier as far as the drive goes? Still comfortable, but just kind of more aggressive. And we spent pretty much the whole day in this car, and for me driving, I didn't get tired at all. You know, that I think is a testament to how comfortable this car is, how easy it is for you to use the elements in the car. And for all day driving, I was just fine and very comfortable. My wife is following me in her Audi A4. We just picked up our dogs from the pet spa. So she's following me into Manhattan so I can return this Nautilus. She said to me, you know, you're going pretty quickly in this Nautilus. You know, she was like, why are you going so fast? And the reason why I bring that up now is earlier in the video, you may have heard me say that this car is for relaxing, and it is. It's very comfortable, but it can be deceiving in its comfort. You know, so you can get some really good pace going in this car. Again, it has 335 horsepower, and it can get up and go. It's just not aggressive about it. It's very seamless about it. But I think Lincoln has done a great thing here by putting a mark in the sand and saying this is what we're about, and creating a vehicle that is very tailored and specific to that customer who wants a serene, a sanctuary for their daily commute. And I think they are successful at it. Overall, I'm very positive about it. You need to be the buyer who wants something that's relaxing. And if you want something that's purely on the scale of luxury versus performance, then you'll be happy with this car. I think you'll be happy. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to make my way into Manhattan to drop this car off. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Talk to you later, everybody.